Hello, this is Blake Levine. Today I want to do a talk about how hard it is to live with bipolar disorder. So I have made hundreds of videos teaching my lessons and knowledge about mental illness. And even though I've read books and understand the illness, the true part for me is figuring out how do we live with this condition? How do we become adults? How do we have families and careers and friendships and figure out what it means to have a mental illness but to still keep going on? And what I want to share today that is something that usually I'm so positive and optimistic, which is a key part of living a successful life with bipolar. But I want to share that it is a very hard road and a very difficult path for anyone that's on it. And I share that because when you have the courage to accept that, hey, I'm going to be on a long, tough track. It's not going to be easy. Things are going to get difficult and challenging. But I can try to figure out what I can do to keep pulling myself together. And I want to open up in my own life that the last few years have had so many challenges. There's been things that have been so difficult, and I've done my best to keep going and growing in my life. I'll share a few examples. My brother Adam passed away at 27 from a heroin overdose. He secretly was doing heroin and we didn't know it. And of course, how can that be easy? When you live with a mental illness and you face a tragic death like your brother, it's hard to pick yourself up and keep going, but we have no other choice. And I didn't have anything else I could do but figure out how to get stronger. When he died, I chose to stop drinking any alcohol. Even though I wouldn't drink often, I chose that I couldn't let something like drugs or alcohol numb the true pain I was feeling. I also had some times where my wife was very depressed. She and I just had a baby. We just moved. My brother died, and she fell into a pretty severe dark depression. She was struggling, even though she's in the medical field. She knew, she needed to change, but it was hard for her. I kept pushing her and motivating her to see a therapist and to get some support. And it took her a while to see the light and say, you know what, I really am having a hard time. But she ended up going and finding a therapist and a psychiatrist, and she got herself stable again. She's doing a great job as a mom, as a wife. She works as a PA, and she's an amazing person. But we had that definitely difficult challenge. There were other things like business ventures, books and things that I was so motivated and excited about, and they weren't, selling as well as I hoped. They weren't catching on, and no matter what I did, it was hard to financially survive. And I share these openly with you because it's hard. I've been a teacher about bipolar for years. I've helped a lot of people, but I'm a human being and I face problems like the rest of us. And when I help other people, I don't claim to have all the answers or know everything about bipolar. What I do know is that I'm doing a pretty good job taking care of my kids. I have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. I'm trying to be a good husband. My wife and I have been together for over 10 years. And I don't have it all figured out, but I know that if we do the work, we can get ourselves stronger and healthier, and maybe things will improve. And when I talk to other people that are sad, that are hopeless, that don't know if they even want to go on, I try to tell them that there is some light, and that even though I've faced so many problems, I'm still here. I'm still educating. I'm still writing books. I have my real estate license. I'm still doing that. I run a website, and I'm keeping going on my quest. And what I share with anybody else is wherever you are, don't give up. You have dreams or goals. You want to one day share your own story in a book. You want to one day go to college. You want to one day get married. Don't give up. And even if it doesn't happen for you perfectly, there's things you can do. You can find support groups. There's places like the National Alliance on Mental Illness and the Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance. You can find free support anytime. You can go to NAMI.org or dbsalliance.org. You can also get, the ability to say, you know what, it's going to be a rough road, but I'm not alone. I called today to get a new therapist to help me. I haven't worked with someone in a few months, and I'm ready to go back and keep going and trying to grow in my own journey. And when I share this, people have said to me, hey, isn't it weird to be openly bipolar, to talk about on YouTube and tell people in books? And I say it is hard. It is awkward. It's weird to be known as the guy that does that, but there's a reason. The reason is when I was a kid, when I was locked up in a mental hospital at 15 to 17, when I was in 5 different places that, had me there for a month trying to stabilize me, and I couldn't go to school and I couldn't have friends, I felt so lost and hopeless. I didn't know if life was going to get better. I didn't know if I would recover. I was successful before that. I'd written a book. I'd met President Clinton in the Oval Office. I'd met Mother Teresa, Michael Jackson, all this success. And then when I got sick, it all fell apart. Instead of being a success, I was just a sick kid locked in a hospital. And I wish there was someone at that time that I could say, hey, look at that guy. That guy rebuilt his life. But there wasn't. There were only older role models. So I went out of my way to share what I had and what I did. It hasn't been easy or perfect, but it's been the truth. And since that time, a lot of people more famous than I'll ever be have opened up and shared their stories. And I respect that and appreciate it. And I pray that other people, who have these illnesses don't have to hide, and they can say their truth and they can be open that they're going to try to rebuild themselves up. So I want to thank you for watching my video today. I'm practicing even being more honest and sharing more of my truth so you can see if it'll connect with you. I want to share below my website. I do a one-on-one coaching program. I have some cool books. Today I'm going to share 2 of them with you. One is about Psychology of Adult Coloring. It's my newest book. It's a book my publisher asked me to research about why adults love to color as a stress reliever. There is some stuff in there about depression and other things I think you'll enjoy. And then I have a book about my brother dying called Depression, Bipolar, and Heroin. It talks about mental illness and addiction and uses as examples, teaching, stories to help you figure out how to rebuild your life. So thanks for being with me. And I hope if you are struggling, you're not alone and that you can get back to a lighter place in your life.